You're deaf.
Shut off!
We're still vassal slaves, we're just in prettier cages.
Oh, Megan. We're only getting started.
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main stories tonight.
Hi, David, I have a call for you. I'm just putting it through. All right, mate. Dave here. Listen, I know you've only come in to clean up the place, but I've got a bit caught up, so you're going to have to run the news tonight. Now, don't worry. It's not hard, and I'm going to stay on the phone and help you. First, I'm going to give you a quick tour of the broadcast room, so if you're not doing it already, look forwards towards all those screens. Right, look up at the top. That coloured bar is your audience. You want to keep the viewers going up and not down. Underneath that, you've got the screens. The one on the right is the broadcast screen. That's what the viewers are seeing at home. It's only a couple of seconds behind the master screen there in the middle. That's the one you control. Now, the four small screens on the left show the different signals coming from the studio, and you can choose between them using the numbered buttons on the vision mixer at the bottom left. Don't worry, I'll talk you through it and you'll pick it up in no time. Now, have a look to your left. These plugs control everything in the studio. I've left them set up for you, so provided you haven't fiddled with them, all you have to do now is throw the master trip switch and we're in business. Once you've got the power on, face the front again. You can see on the broadcast screen that we're in the end titles for the show before us. Fortunately, they go on for fucking ages, so there's plenty of time for me to explain. Oh, right, okay, they're over, so we haven't got long now till the broadcast. Right, quickly, mate, look down under the desk.
Coming up later on tonight.
You can see a load of videotapes on the left. They're your adverts. Pick any three and load them into the machines on the right. When you've done that, look up to the front again.
That's followed at 8 p.m. by award-winning documentary series The Shape of Now, which tonight looks at the history of the knee-length sock and its importance during the Great Blackouts of 1871.
You should be getting a signal from the studio soon.
Sit back and relax with multiple award-winning movie The Freedom.
When you get the signal, select screen 1 with the vision mixer and we're ready to go.
Prawn and mayonnaise?
You know seafood makes me come out in pustules.
Yeah, I thought it might increase our viewing figures.
Every day. You offer me prawns every day.
10 seconds, everybody. That's how I show love.
You're trying to kill me.
And yet you persist. Going in 5, 4.
But now, it's time to join Jeremy Donaldson.
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main stories tonight.
Okay, we're all good. Next is going to be the throw to the news titles on screen 2. There'll be a countdown, but I'll count you in as well. Just relax, mate. It's all gravy.
Buys Honest Andy's Totally Independent and corners the flower market. Top chat. Sports fans everywhere celebrate as popular footballer Johnny Hamsleys wins Sports Personality of the Year. And a spoonful of sugar. Megan will be chatting with movie star Lawrence Blunderclatch about his new movie, The Medicated. And, of course, we'll be going live to advanced headquarters to hear what the leaders of this fledgling party have to say on their story.
Right, button
That's
2
all coming up on
in
tonight.
3,
National
2,
News.
1. Lovely, mate. Next thing is to throw back to Jeremy with button 1 when that globe in the middle shrinks down and vanishes. Here it comes. Switch to screen 1. Now. Lovely, mate.
The votes are in and it's a decisive win for advance. The landslide.
Now listen, mate, we often get a bit of interference around this time of night, so keep your eye on the machine on the bottom right. You can move Move that white dot up and down, avoiding the interference, using the yellow knob.
But critics have accused him of a severe lack of actual policies and of being deliberately vague. The opposition parties have all conceded defeat to advance his overwhelming mandate, but have yet to appear publicly.
Right, it's going well. All you've got to do now is play the advert at the end of the segment. Make sure you don't play it too early or we'll all get fired. Now the clock at the top is counting you down to the advert. When it reaches 0, press one of the 3 play ad buttons over there at the bottom right. I normally play the first one at the first break and so on, but you can play them in any order you want. I'll count you into it as well, but keep your eye on the clock.
We'll be going live to Advance HQ to hear the co-leader's acceptance speech.
And 3,
That's all coming
2,
up.
1, advert.
1 minute back, everybody.
Jeremy, I need you to fill after the ads.
What? Why?
Wanker Snatch is running late.
Oh,
Thought I'd ask him about the election.
personally, I wouldn't try to confuse him with any big words.
That's the same policy we use with you.
I thought that was our little secret.
He doesn't remember anything I tell him.
I'm deeply uncomfortable with your burgeoning friendship.
Me too.
Yeah.
Wicked. We've made it to the first ad break. You're doing great, mate. But this is where it starts getting a bit trickier. This next sequence is what we call a multicam sequence, because you're going to be cutting between multiple cameras to keep things interesting. A lot of it's down to personal taste, but here's 3 good rules of thumb. 1. Try and keep the shot on whoever is doing the talking. 2. Don't stay on the same shot for too long. 10 seconds at the most. So if you're on the person who's talking, try and throw in the odd reaction shot or pull out to the wide shot for a bit just to keep it interesting. 3. Don't stay on reaction shots for too long. A couple of seconds is usually enough. Then the audience want to see who's doing the talking, yeah? Stick to these rules and you'll be fine. It's not as complicated as it sounds. You've seen programs on television, haven't you? Make it look like those. Might as well get screen 1 selected now. No need to wait for the broadcast to start. Try and stay ahead, mate.
We're coming back from the break. Quiet in the studio.
Thank you so much.
10 seconds, everybody. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Later, we'll be hearing from shock election winners Advance. But first,
Get ready to go to Megan on screen 4.
is here with a star of both stage and screen. Megan?
Thank you, Jeremy. Megan Wolfe, culture correspondent. And today I have a guest who starred in everything from Shakespeare
Right,
to
go
the
to
shop
Blunderclatch on screen 3 when she says his name.
by none other than Lawrence Blunderclatch. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, my dear, I do hope you believe me when I tell you that being with you here today is among
Switch to 2 for the wide now.
May I say, having you here with us is among ours.
Right, now just try and stay on whoever's talking.
Latest movie, which is called The Medicated.
The medicated, yes.
Wow, what was that like?
Well, as I said to Peter the Rat, that's Peter Jensen, the director. Do you know him? He's a wonderful chap, he really is. I've worked with him on several movies, all terribly successful. I said to Peter, what a wild ride this has been. And you know what, Megan? I really meant that.
Wow, that is fantastic. And am I right in saying that the character you play in this movie is quite an academic one?
Absolutely right. A scientist.
Was that a challenge at all?
What exactly are you implying? But seriously, yes, you're right. It was a complete departure from my last starring role when I played Sergeant Brock Rockman in Bullet Man. You'll remember that was the true story of one soldier's fight for a love that surpasses all others. A love, of course, for freedom. I think it's grossed over $1 billion, but honestly, who's counting?
It's a role that saw you scoop 2 Best Actor awards, if I remember correctly.
It's so sweet of you to mention it, but I really am not in it for the awards, although those 3 little statues do take pride of place on my mantelpiece.
With all the others, I'm sure. So, if you're not doing it for the awards, what is it then that drives you?
Oh, that is a beautiful question, Megan, and not easy to answer. Like you, I'm afraid. Cut me, and I will bleed. And often, that's how it feels, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Bleeding, giving, suffering for one's audience. I suppose in the end, I do it for the difference it makes. I do it for the people that I inspire. The little people. But most of all, I think I do it for the positive change that I can bring about in the world.
And today, of course, we're in for some real change, it looks like, in the coming few months. What do you make of this historic election result?
Oh, well. Well, now you're asking. Historic election result. Indeed. Historic is the word. Well, difficult, isn't it? Very difficult. I think I've always been quite clear
Been on that show a bit long.
politics that one should always strive to not fuck things up.
Shit, he swore. Oh, well, don't worry, you won't do it again.
Sorry, I said fuck.
Shit, he did it again. Okay, don't panic. I'll explain how to deal with swearing at the break.
Medicated, which opens next week.
Right, I've swapped the shot of Jeremy on screen 1 for a VT of the movie clip. You'll get a countdown on the screen, but I'll just let Megan cue you in.
My character, Dr. Lance Hemlock, is faced with a decision that could affect humanity's very survival.
Exciting stuff. Let's take a look. Exciting stuff.
Watch out for that interference, mate.
I don't understand it.
God, looks like Blunder Clatch is losing it in the studio. I'd love to hear what he's saying, but don't switch to it now. You can go to the Russia's room when the broadcast's done. We keep everything.
No, Lance, we mustn't. Thanks, Carol.
Dr. Lance to you, Miss Flanagan.
Did it for you, baby. For you. This is the key.
Stop it.
At the end of the clip, you'll want to play another ad. Remember to use the clock at the top to count you in.
If we should.
Right, I guess I better explain how to deal with bleeping out swear words. As you've probably noticed, the broadcast screen, here, is about 2 seconds behind the master screen, here. When someone says a naughty word, the bleep button lights up, like this. 2 seconds later, you'll hear that swear word going out on the broadcast, and you need to hold down the bleep button, or the spacebar on your keyboard, for as long as the swear word lasts. It can take a bit of practice getting used to hearing 2 things at once. Just stay calm and you'll get it. And if you can't tell when to bleep, just above the button, you'll literally be able to see the sound scrolling by. All you gotta do is hold it down while the red bit is over the red line. Simple. Of course, if you do it by eye, you'll have to take your eye off the screens. That's why real professionals do it by ear. Most people like to have the volume of the broadcast screen a little bit below the master screen. Let's set it now. As you turn it up, you'll hear the advert getting louder. Good. You're set to start censoring. Like I say, it takes a little practice, but I'll try and help you through it, and soon we'll have you bleeping like a pro. Remember, button lights up, count 1, 2, and hold it down.
And a deal. We got those chairs. You want crazy? We got crazy. Crazy Neil's got crazy deals. You want a toilet?
Remember to select screen 1 now that you've got the feed. Don't wait for the broadcast to go live. That's too late. You can use the number buttons on your keyboard, 1 to 4.
You want it. You pay it. You want it. We've got
5,
it. You want it. You want it. We've got it. You pay it.
3.
Welcome back. And I'm told we can now go live to advance. I'm told we can now go where the 2 leaders, Peter Clement and Julia Salisbury, are about to make their acceptance address.
Cut to the outside broadcast. Oh shit,
Shall I start?
Get ready to bleep.
Thank you all for coming, and thank you all for coming.
Where do I start?
Well, what
Where
a
do I
day.
start?
They said
What
we
a
couldn't
day.
do it.
They
They said we couldn't do it. Every dirty, low-down, lying southern bastard trying southern bastard.
You only got a bit of the word.
I'm sorry about the language.
Hold it down for the whole
Sorry about that. I've had a
world.
couple. Coarser than the ground is funny.
Remember the 10-second rule.
Memorable.
Gotta get the whole
But to be honest,
word.
who can blame Peter for celebrating? Who can blame Peter
Throughout
for
the campaign,
celebrating?
you've heard us say that
Throughout the
advance are
campaign,
not
you've
a
heard us say
political
that
party.
advance are not a
A party is
political
what you
party.
have when things are going
A
well.
party is what you have when things
When the
are
country
going
is
well.
suffering, you don't need a
When
party.
the country is suffering,
You
you
need
don't need
a
a party.
team.
A team
that can change
A
things.
team that can change
But
things.
today is day one of a
But
new
today
future.
is day one
A
of a
better,
new future.
fairer future.
A better, fairer
So perhaps we should all be
future.
celebrating. So
Except
perhaps
for the
we should all be
rich.
celebrating.
For them, the party's over. They shouldn't. For them, the party's over. They should be putting their shit in pants on and opening their shit.
Again,
You only got a bit of the word.
Again,
colourfully
not
put,
inaccurate, but not inaccurate.
Before we came out here to address the nation,
Before we
used
came out
our
here to
executive
address the
powers
nation, we used
to
our
pass the
executive
Assets and
powers
Wealth Act.
to pass the
Working
Assets
with
and
the
Wealth
tax
Act.
office,
We have
Working
produced
with
a
the
tax
tax
office.
office,
We
with
have
every
produced
person
a
in the country
definitive
with
list
wealth
of
into
every
the
person
million.
in the country
You
with wealth
know
into the
this,
million.
or probably you rather you don't. Or probably
Because
you
the likes
rather
of you
don't.
and me
Because
are
the
not
likes
welcome
of
in
you
their
and
gated
me are not
communities.
welcome in their
Tomorrow
gated
we will be
communities.
introducing a
Tomorrow
sweeping
we will
reform
be
of the tax
introducing
system
a
in this
sweeping
country.
reform of the tax
No
system.
more hiding wealth offshore.
No more hiding
trust
wealth
funds or
offshore,
creative
no more
accounting.
trust funds
A
or
simpler,
creative accounting.
fairer,
A
unavoidable
simpler,
set
fairer,
of tax laws.
unavoidable
So all
set
you
of tax
bastard public
all
school
you
snobs have got nowhere to hide.
Nice.
I've got nowhere to
today.
hide. We revoked
today.
your passport. We revoked your
want 'em
passport.
back.
You want to leave like you threatened before the election. Like you threatened before the election. That's fine. You're gonna pay
First.
up. You're gonna pay back.
Advance are going to turn this country from a
Advance
nation
are
of
back to
warring
who's
individuals,
talking.
from a nation of
Into a
warring
team.
individuals, to properly
Into a
fund
team.
health and education,
To properly fund
to raise
health
the
and
living
education.
standards of us
To
all.
raise the
The
living standards
pundits
of us
said
all.
we'd have to
The
raise
pundits
billions.
raise
You'll see
billions.
when we've reclaimed
You'll
what's
see
ours.
when we've
That's
reclaimed
absolute
what's ours.
ferret
That's
shite.
absolute
So to
ferret
you,
shite.
twats,
Pay you a
posh
pittance.
twats.
Hold it down for the whole
People
world.
whose children you raise.
people
So
whose
they've
children
got time to
you
get even.
raise.
So they've got time to get even.
Advance have this to say to you. Advance have
Hold
this
it down a
to
bit
say
long
to you.
there, mate.
We are coming for your
today.
sports cars
We
and
are
your
coming for your
mansions and your
sports
cars and your
It
mansions
ends
and your
today.
vineyards.
It ends
We will put the wealth
today.
of this country back.
We will
where
put
it
the
should
wealth of
always
this
be.
country back where
in
it
the
should
hands of the
always
people
be.
who created it. In the hands
It
of the people
ends
who created it.
It ends
Yes.
today.
Ends
Yes.
today. It ends
And tomorrow,
today.
we'll start making
And
it
tomorrow,
fair again.
we'll start making
Just
it
like
fair
we
again.
promised we would.
Just
And
like
until
we
then,
promised
ladies
we
and
would.
gents, and until then, ladies
I
and
suggest
gents,
we all get pissed.
I can't argue with that.
pissed.
Thank you for your
With
time.
that,
Gotta get the whole
Thank
word.
you for your time.
Well, interesting acceptance speech there. Interesting acceptance speech there. And our apologies for the fruity language. And our apologies for the fruity language. Bleeped out for you in time. Hopefully we got that bleeped out for you in time. Someone's going to be in trouble. If not, someone's going to be in trouble. So, as the country braces itself, that's all from us this evening at the National. That's all from us this evening at the National. We'll be back tomorrow with full coverage of the first day. With full coverage of the first day. I'm Jeremy Dawson. Have a peaceful. I'm Jeremy Dawson. Have a peaceful.
And we're out.
Not
Good
really
job,
got the hang of it,
everybody.
have
See
you?
tomorrow.
I suggest you get some practice in, have another go, that sort of thing. I wish I could help you more, but I'm out of here. This country's fucked, mate. See ya.
Weird fever dream. Am I dying now?
Now you can have
You're
me,
so lucky.
Johnny Hamsey.
I'll see you tomorrow night.
Not coming for a drink?
No, got a date.
Try not to get murdered.
Happy day. Me and the lights are playing away.
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Dawson. Our main stories tonight.
Daddy, it's starting!
It's all in the Bible. Look, Leviticus.
No, Lance, we mustn't. Thanks, Carol.
Dr. Lance to you, Miss Flanagan.
Did it for you, baby. All for you.
Dr. Hemlock.
We're gonna change the world, you remember? Only I listened to you.
Dr. Hemlock.
You told me, but I didn't listen.
Doctor,
I'm drowning, Lance, you said.
you need to see this.
No, it's all too late.
Look at this!
The virus. The sterility.